The tension inside Arthur Ashe Stadium feels like it's about to burst. Every eye is locked on Coco Gauff, barely 19, drenched in sweat, lungs burning after one of the toughest three-set battles of her career. The crowd erupts, but she's not smiling, not yet. There's something heavier in her expression, something deeper than victory. When she steps up to the microphone, the noise fades into silence, cameras zoom in, millions are watching live, and then, with her voice trembling just slightly, she says the words that will change everything. This isn't just about tennis anymore. For a split second, you could feel the world pause. Those few words, raw, emotional, unexpected, cut through the air like a serve straight to the chest. Some people cheer, others freeze, but everyone knows they've just witnessed something bigger than a match. What Coco was about to say would send shockwaves through the sport and far beyond it. But what most people didn't realize that night was that this wasn't sudden. This moment had been building quietly for years, a pressure simmering beneath every headline, every sponsorship photo, every press conference smile. And somewhere across the ocean, another young player, Alex EALA, the rising star from the Philippines, was watching in silence. Within hours, she'd go live on Instagram and say, "Coco's right. They called me names too. They mocked me. But we won't stay quiet anymore." That was the spark. The moment two young women from different continents, different cultures, lit a fire that the tennis world could no longer ignore. But to understand how it started, you have to go back. Back to the years before the microphone, before the movement, before the world finally started to listen. Coco's rise wasn't just fast, it was explosive. A teenager with power beyond her years and composure that made veterans nervous. The media called her the future of tennis. Sponsors rushed to sign her. Headlines painted her as the new face of hope. But fame is never free. Behind that bright smile, behind the polished interviews, something darker had been forming. Quiet whispers, coded criticism, subtle reminders that no matter how high she climbed, some people still didn't see her the same way. When Coco celebrated, the tone shifted. She wasn't confident anymore, she was cocky. She wasn't expressive, she was too emotional. And suddenly the same people who once praised her for passion began calling her arrogant. It's the oldest trick in sports media. Praise them when they're humble, punish them when they show strength. For male players, it's passion. For women, especially women of color, it's attitude. Coco knew it. Everyone did. But few were willing to say it out loud. As her fame grew, the pressure grew with it. She played match after match, carrying not just the weight of expectation, but the quiet demand to stay likable, smile politely, and never make anyone uncomfortable. Every win came with a side of scrutiny. Every loss came with judgment. And yet, she kept her head high. She did everything right, worked hard, stayed humble, avoided controversy. But even perfection wasn't enough to silence the noise. The truth is, the system didn't mind her talent, it just wasn't ready for her power. And when that power started showing, when she dared to take up space and celebrate like her male counterparts, that's when the backlash came fast and loud. Still, Coco didn't break. She let it build. Every headline, every comment, every smirk from a commentator who couldn't quite hide the bias. She stored it, quietly, patiently, until the night she finally decided to speak. And when she did, the world listened. But Coco wasn't alone in that experience, because halfway across the world, another young player was learning the same lesson, in a very different accent, but under the same bright lights. Alex Ayala's story begins in Manila, long before the global cameras or the sponsorship deals. From the start, she was different, a left-handed prodigy, with the precision of a veteran and the fearlessness of someone who didn't know the meaning of intimidated. She rose through the ranks fast, breaking records for her country, and suddenly the world began to notice. But with attention came doubt. In press conferences, the tone was different. The questions were loaded. The disbelief was subtle, but it was there. "When I won," Alex once said, "they acted like it was a miracle, not like I earned it." It wasn't just about skill, it was about where she came from, because in a sport dominated by powerhouses from the US and Europe, a young Filipina breaking through didn't fit the narrative. So instead of respect, she got curiosity. Instead of recognition, she got condescension. Journalists often framed her success as surprising. Commentators used words like charming, emotional, or humble, the kind of words rarely used for men. And slowly, she realized that tail